Hello and welcome. The following demonstration will cover release 4.3, primarily focusing on the enhancements, but first of all, just a few slight changes that you may become very quickly aware of, one of which being our main website. Okay, so we've revamped our website to include the combination of SMSF Sorted, which is our new offering in the administration compliance space, as well as focusing on the power of sorted and automation together, the additional efficiencies that those two products in combination offer. If you'd like to know more, please go to our website and take a look. The reason though, the main reason why I've started at the website is to show you that you'll notice that the support icon is no longer visible at the top here. If you click login, you will be able to click on the support portal. Okay, it is only temporary. Very soon the support portal will be transferred inside the portal. Okay, when you click on that, you'll be diverted to this page here. You'll see that this has also been revamped. Okay, but the structure is still the same. So when you click on knowledge base, you'll have the choice to go to audit or sorted. Okay, and let's focus today on 4.3, the what's new, which is currently under construction. The release of this video will complement the construction of this guide here. But primarily the main features, and they're long-awaited features, and I know that it's going to excite a lot of people watching this video as I speak. First of all, the additional options that we now have for bookmarking, where we can bookmark documents, how we can bookmark documents, as well as the ability to make comments on lead schedule items. So essentially every checklist and every lead schedule item now has a free text option. Okay, there are some other items that I will be covering. So without further ado, let's switch across to the portal. Okay, today I'll focus on the bookmarks firstly. Okay, so let's take a look at the assets. Okay, now it is important to note that what you know has not changed. Okay, so the way that we bookmark documents previously, let me just remove this now, is still the same. So search for the amount, find the document, you'll be navigated directly to the correct page, and once on that page you can then bookmark. Okay, so the option, so the bookmarking as you know it has not changed. What has changed is probably best if I demonstrate on the listed investments, because I think this is where a lot of the suggestions were formulated. Okay, so in today's age with so many managed funds, you now have the ability, of course, you can still go ahead and manually find a quantity. Okay, find the portfolio valuation and then bookmark that. Okay, so that is still available. Nothing has changed in that sense. However, looking at this, every amount that I'm currently looking for in my listed investments is listed on this one page. Okay, so it's not wrong to go through and bookmark everyone individually. If that's what you would prefer to do, by all means go ahead and do that. Okay, but the next example, so what we have the ability to do now is to search by this accumulative value. Okay, now I have some preloaded errors in all of my demo funds, so I actually haven't found that value. Okay, so now the combination of what we introduced previously with 4.1, which is the all documents now being available. Okay, so rather than find that amount and navigate to the document, I can actually just find the document that I'm looking for. As I mentioned, portfolio valuation is what I want, and I can just drag this across to this section. Okay, and unlike our previous drag option, when I drag it, I also have the ability to bookmark it. Okay, so I can bookmark this. Now, something that a lot of our clients aren't aware of, and it's because we don't have the ability to open in a new tab in Cloudoffis. It doesn't exist the way that it's designed. However, and that's why the speed is so good. However, what you do have an option for, and something that seems to be a little unknown out there, is you do have the ability to duplicate a tab. So I have this page open. If I then want to compare it with the lead schedule information, all I do is right click on the tab and select duplicate. Okay, so that'll open a new tab, and it will open to the lead schedule where I actually open this document from. Okay, so now if I expand shares of listed companies, now please imagine that I was working with two screens. Okay, I have the ability to have this open on one while I go through the document on the other. Okay, so I can go through, just check all of those documents. Of course, working with two screens, it'll be much more user-friendly. But just so I can demonstrate, I thought I'd split that. So I've got this tab, which is open, it's active, and the doc opened at the same time. Okay, so if I did spot something, I would be able to use the new function that we have, which I'll expand out again. Okay, so the new function, another new function that we have, is the ability to make a free text comment. Okay, so now on the lead schedule, if there was something that you would like to bring the auditor's attention to as you're progressing through or the manager's review, you can make a free text. If it is a reminder for yourself for next year's job, you can write whatever you like in there. The same as it is with the checklist. Okay, it doesn't change the completion, the percentage of completion at all. It is purely just a tool for you to write anything that is relevant to the audit. Okay, now in addition to that, so not only do you have the ability to drag documents to the section, you also have the ability, and just to confirm, even if I'll use this admin fees, even if it wasn't expanded, I would still be able to add a document to those staple securities. Okay, obviously this is a document that's not relevant, but I can still bookmark. So the additional flexibility we're really hoping is going to add a new level of efficiency, okay, and flexibility. Okay, now on top of that, if it was let's say the portfolio valuation, I wanted to attach it at the bucket level. Okay, so a bucket is assets, and underneath assets I've got all of these different assets, different groups of assets. Okay, I can actually attach a doc at a bucket level. Okay, so you have that additional flexibility to attach it at a bucket level, at a section level, or at a line level. Okay, so we're really hoping that we're going to get some great feedback from that. It has been asked for by many of our clients. Okay, so let's just close this down, and I've still got this tab open here. Okay, something else that we've received some feedback for, and we thought we generally don't change checklists throughout the year. We haven't actually changed checklists, we've just changed a little bit of the logic, and it is important to note because it may affect some of you that need to re-import the a lead schedule. Okay, and the job that I have open is a good example. So if I close this doc down, okay, and I should mention that there'll be a comprehensive guide created on the different types of bookmarks that you can create. Okay, but what I would like to demonstrate here is, notice here in my assets that I don't have any taxation. Okay, now based on some feedback, now there was a way to work around, but based on feedback, there are times where there are zero taxation balances, but the checklists are still relevant. And because because there was nothing to place in that bucket, we didn't create those checklists. So just bear in mind that this particular job I have sitting at 100%. Okay, now when I re-import the lead schedule, and I will keep my work. Okay, so if I did make a change in class that I wanted to bring across, that'll just take a moment while that just brings in all of the data again. Okay, I won't bother looking at the change report because nothing has changed. None of the data has actually changed. It's just our logic that has changed. Okay, and our logic now, if I go back to the fund dashboard, okay, so we now logically provide a taxation balance bucket or section, whether there are taxation balances or not. Okay, so now you'll see that this taxation balance has been added. We will provide a warning for those of you that are importing. That'll be ready in a couple of days. So you'll notice an additional warning pop up because the danger wasn't not filling these out. However, because we have now introduced it, we didn't wait until the 1st of July. You'll notice that it has actually changed my percentage of completion. So technically I haven't completed this job, even though prior to importing I had it sitting at 100%. Okay, so as many of you will know, there are multiple options on how to do it. I'm just going to do this at a page level, and if I go to the taxation balance, I'll just mark all of these as complete. Okay, there's another tip as well. Previously, the top icon was how you marked everything as complete. Now with the additional tools that we have, it's the second option that it enables that check all completed for the checklist that exists below. Okay, so again, thank you for the feedback for those of you that raised that and explained multiple reasons as to why it was required, whether there was taxation balances or not. Okay, so you'll also notice, you may have noticed throughout this transaction, I don't have any, this demonstration, I don't have any special tricks, but by default, we now provide the checklist in an expanded view. Okay, based on statistic, based on feedback, everybody liked the expanded view. It was the most popular. So we basically removed a click. If you would like to go back to a collapsed view, simply click the little arrow. Okay, so previously, and that's the same with, that's a terrible example. Let me go to listed investments. It's the same with the lead schedule items as well. By default, instead of a small pane where you can navigate, okay, so prior to today, you would navigate this way. By default now, we provide it at an expanded view. Just to repeat, if you preferred the collapse view, just click that button to collapse. Okay, and the last significant part of this release are again just the increasing of the user friendliness of our portal. Okay, so many of you may have realized previously. Let's take a look at what's a good example. Let's have a look at the trial balance. So previously we provide this information which has headings. The moment that you would scroll down, you would lose your headings. Most of you understood what was what. I didn't. But you know, we've added in all of the reports, including the analytical procedure, we've frozen the headings now. Okay, now that is also true in multiple areas. There is one place where we are further enhancing, and that is if we look at the cash. As you know, you can view every transaction that happens in an account. Okay, so this one here still scrolls down. Okay, so that'll be something that's just wasn't ready in time for this release. Okay, so the minimized general ledger view didn't freeze the top row. However, if we look at the general ledger on a whole, the top row does freeze. Okay, so it seems like something so small. From what the tech guys tell me, it wasn't as easy as it is in Excel, and you don't just have a magic button you can click to freeze the top row. But moving on from that, I'll just go through some of the fixes as well. Okay, so there were some changes in BGL 360 where there was kind of generic codes that were used for specific scenarios. Okay, so we've now mapped to those specific scenarios. You may see with actuary certificates, they will map correctly the first time. Okay, we also have when there were negative assets. With BGL, many of you know BGL and class work differently. It confuses me constantly. One uses a positive figure, the other uses a negative figure, which is in fact positive. We've now we have exceptions in place to override that, so it always looks correct. But it was affecting asset values, and negative symbols weren't being displayed. Okay, so we've rectified that. Alright, now with the timestamps, many of you may not have known, but there was a period where we had part of our timestamps set to standard time and the other part to daylight savings time. Okay, so it is all now by default set to 1 time throughout the process. Okay, and essentially I've just listed here multiple updates to improve the sorted job import. So for those of you that aren't aware, SMSF Sorted does integrate seamlessly with the Cloudoffis audit portal. Okay, and you may notice in some demonstrations that I do in future that we'll see this new little logo here. Okay, so when and that's the sorted logo, so that means that the job has come across from the sorted. Okay, and it is essential that because of this this new product, when it gets sent over, when doing the compliance work, there are certain things that that need to ship through to the auditor automatically, which is what has fed a lot of these improvements and a lot of these enhancements. Okay, so that concludes the demonstration. Really, this is just the what you need to know now. As I mentioned previously, there will be much more comprehensive guides created for each of these enhancements, and you'll see these added to this guide over the next couple of days. Thanks for watching and have a great day.